So before I start, I should say it's probably going to be the worst thing I've ever watched. I've literally never edited anything in my life, and my voice lacks any form of magnitude. So with that said, let's get on to it, I guess. Oh, hi. No, that wasn't it. Sup. You know what? I'll just skip the intro. I'll be talking about Greek mythology, which is this really boring topic about weird beings doing weird things. And this is my attempt to, I don't know what this video is supposed to be for, honestly. Me just rambling for how, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but it's basically just me rambling. Anyway, this is the Greek mythology timeline. So it all starts from this being called chaos. Um, I think I can draw that for you. I'll be right back. Yeah. I haven't seen my pen. Pen found. This is chaos. So he or it is basically this endless void. So since it is a void and it doesn't have a shape, just imagine it like this. My drawing skills aren't very good, so just take this. So from this guy chaos came several other beings. There was the earth, Gaia, love, Eros, the abyss. Yes, that's what it's called. Tartarus. Yes. What do these beings do again? Yes, Gaia is the earth, like I already said. Eros is love, which I have just said now, and I'm just repeating things. Um. Also, Chaos had two children, which were Erebus and Nyx. So Erebus is basically the embodiment of darkness, while Nyx is the embodiment of night, the night. Yes. So together, Erebus and Nyx had children, and they were brother and sister. So that's just weird, but that happens a lot in Greek mythology. So I guess we'll have to get used to it. That's if you haven't stopped watching this video already, because I would have stopped watching by now, honestly. I'm such a bad narrator, so pardon me for that. Um, so Erebus and Nyx had two children together, Aether and Hemera. So Aether is the embodiment of the bright upper sky, and Hemera is the embodiment of daytime. So Hemera and her mother have this cycle. Since Hemera is day, Nyx is night. So they both live in this place. I already mentioned it's Tartarus. So they both live there, but then while Hemera is there, Nyx isn't there. Still, like, just like when night is there, day isn't, and when day is there, night isn't. So Wow. Yeah. Then Nyx on her own, that's without anyone else, had like dozens of children, several. My chef can start listing them right now. So back to those other three I mentioned. So we have Gaia. Um, I'm sure Heroes of Olympus fans are aware of this character. Um, she is the primordial embodiment of the earth. So in Greek mythology, she's basically the ground we walk on. Being the earth, she was incredibly, would I say, fertile. Yes. So she had a number of children of her own. There was Uranus, the sky, Pontus, the sea, and the Aurea, which were these mountain spirits. So she married her son Uranus. I know that's really weird. And they had three sets of children together. Now, when she gave birth to Uranus, she made him her equal, and his job is to cover her on every side, just like the sky towers over the earth. Why am I still holding this pen? Um, so together, Gaia and Uranus had three sets of children: the Titans, the Cyclops, and the Hundred Handers. So the Hundred Handers are basically these huge beings with 100 hands and 50 heads. I'm not even going to try and configure that with my brain, but you're free to try that if you want. Um, the Cyclops, you've probably heard of these beings, one-eyed giants. There are three of them whose names I don't remember exactly. Is this a good time to say that this account isn't very reliable? You should go to Wikipedia if you want a reliable and accurate account of these myths. I'm just a random teen who yeah, I should get back. I should get back to it. So what was I saying again? Yeah, the third set of children, they were the Titans. You may have heard of these ones as well. They are the villains of the Percy Jackson series. Season 2 is coming out in just a few days. Anyway, that's a diversion. I shouldn't be doing that. Um, there were 12 Titans, but then most of these guys are just NPCs throughout. They don't really do anything. They just follow their brother. One of them, only one of them is important. So these 12 Titans, I would try to mention them. There was Oceanus, the Titan of the sea. He embodies this world encircling ocean. That's the waters beyond the main ones the Greeks knew, like the Mediterranean Sea and the Aegean Sea. I don't know how to pronounce it. He's less of an NPC than the rest of the Titans. I guess he actually does some things. He married his sister Tethys, and yeah, if I go on, all the Titans married their sisters. I know this is really weird. It happens throughout Greek mythology, but I guess there just was no one else. So yeah, let's not dwell on that. Tethys is the Titaness of the sea. The term for female Titan is Titaness. Yeah. Then there was that's two Titans, yes. Then there is Koios, the Titan of intellect, who married Phoebe, I think. And before I continue, Oceanus and Tethys, the first two I mentioned, they had like 3,000 children. No, 6,000 actually. Where am I going back to mention that? I don't know. Um, Oceanus and Tethys, yes, I've just mentioned those. There was Curious, the Titan of intellect and critical thinking, I guess. And then Phoebe was also the Titaness of critical thinking. This video is so awkward. Wow. So Together, Cronos and Phoebe had two children, Leto and Asteria. So Asteria is the goddess of falling stars, and Leto is the mother of Artemis and Apollo, two Olympian gods. Then there is Cryos, the titan of heavenly light, who married his sister. I don't remember which one. I may not be able to mention all 12 of these titans. Anyway, there was Hyperion, the titan of light, who married um, Theia, I think, the titaness of sight, who whose job was to embody gold and diamonds with their shininess, I guess that word shininess. There was Mnemosyne, the titaness of memory and mother of the nine muses. Yes, the nine muses with Zeus. That those are the goddesses of the arts and inspiration. Then there was Themis and Iapetus, who is the father of Prometheus and Atlas, two other titans. So yeah, I think that's enough about the rest of them. Then we have the two most important titans, Kronos, yes, Kronos or Kronos, anyone. Kronos and Rhea. So they are siblings, but then they are also married. So Kronos is the lord of time and the youngest of the titans. Now on to the actual story. So Uranus, the god of the sky, who I mentioned earlier, was okay with the titans, I guess, but then his other two sets of children, he was, would I say, embarrassed of them. So he imprisoned them in the earth, that within Gaia, and this caused her to feel pain. So she decided to plot against him and fashioned a sickle out of adamant, which is this metal with adamantium. Okay, that's a different topic. Adamant, yes. She made a sickle out of this material, or a scythe, either one. In Percy Jackson, Kronos uses a scythe. So she made a sickle out of this stuff called adamant and went to her children and asked if one of them would be willing to use it to assassinate their father, which is a very weird request, but yeah, she did it anyway. None of them wanted to try except the youngest, Kronos. It's always the youngest for some reason. So Gaia told, yes, Uranus came to lie down with Gaia on Mount Othrys, which is the Titan's base, and Kronos hid in a crack somewhere and ambushed his father and killed him. I won't specify how exactly he killed him because that part was really weird and I do not want to say something like that in my first video. So go look it up yourself. I advise you don't though, because once you know it, you can't unknow it. So your choice. So Kronos killed his father and his blood spilled into the sea, creating brand new beings. One of them being Aphrodite, the goddess of love, who I will mention later. There was, yeah, so Kronos took over from his father as ruler of the cosmos, but while his father was being killed, he cursed Kronos and said that Kronos would be killed by one of his children the same way he's killing his father right now. So while ruling as king, Kronos became very paranoid of his father's cause. So every time his wife Rhea had a child, he would swallow the child. I'm not sure how he felt doing that. He could just decide not to have children, but I guess they just can't help themselves. He would swallow every child. So Rhea had given birth to five children and he swallowed all of them. Wow. How did he feel doing that? Um, when Rhea gave birth to her sixth child, she didn't want Kronos to swallow him because obviously no one would like their children getting swallowed whole. So she asked her mother for help, and surprisingly, Gaia helped her. Now, there's something very confusing about Gaia. You never really get whose side she's on. So she helped the Titans overthrow their father because he imprisoned her other children inside of her. But then she sided with those who were against the Titans. But then I'm guessing the reason is because after Kronos became king of the cosmos, he didn't free Gaia's other children. He rather removed them from the earth and imprisoned them in Tartarus. So that's most likely the reason Gaia chose not to support him in the second war. So Rhea asked her mother for help, and Gaia provided Rhea with a magnetite rock and told her to give it to Kronos instead of offering him the sixth child. So she gave it to Kronos and he swallowed it without a second thought. He must have been really eager to devour that child. So Kronos thought that he had secured his throne forever, while Rhea raised Zeus and she fed him from a goat or something. She raised him on an island in Crete, which is a real place, by the way. So Zeus eventually grew up and the Oceanid Metis, he met her and she gave him this drink or something and he offered it to Kronos, and that caused Kronos to throw up Zeus's siblings who were alive inside of their father the whole time and were growing, I guess, since they are immortal beings. And Zeus, together with his siblings, fought the Titans. So the Titans' base was on Mount Othrys, and the gods had their base on Mount Olympus. So Zeus and his siblings, mainly his two brothers, Poseidon and Hades, fought against their father and the other Titans, the males, and Kronos led the Titans with his lieutenant Atlas, son of Iapetus, and Zeus called different allies to side with him, and he said anyone who fights on his side would be honored, I guess, in the outcome of the battle. And Gaius suggested that to win, the gods would have to free her other children, the Cyclops and the Hundred Handers, from Taurus. From Tartarus. So when Zeus did that, the Hundred Handers helped by throwing rocks at the enemy, and the Cyclops, being exceptional blacksmiths, fashioned weapons for Zeus and his brothers. They made a lightning bolt for Zeus, a trident for Poseidon, and a helm of invisibility for Hades. So, with all the help they had, the gods won the war, and Zeus became the new ruler of the cosmos. A few days later, he then established an era ruled by the gods, the mainstream gods, those are the Olympians, Zeus and his family basically. So, first we have Zeus, who, after drawing lots with his brothers, got the sky as his domain and ruled as king of the gods. So, he's god of the sky and lightning. Then we have his sister and wife Hera, goddess of marriage and family. After that, we have Poseidon, Zeus's brother and god of the sea. Then there is, who else? There is Demeter, the goddess of the harvest and um, goddess of agriculture, basically. Then there is Ares, god of war, Athena, goddess of wisdom. Now, Ares is a son of Zeus and Hera, and Athena is a daughter of Zeus and an Oceanid named Metis. She was born from Zeus's head. After Zeus tricked Metis into turning into a fly and swallowed her. It is the strangest thing you ever hear. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Um, um, then then who else? After Athena, you have, yes, there's Apollo. I think everyone's right god. I am actually currently reading the Trials of Apollo. It's okay so far. Not as good as the Heroes of Olympus or the King Chronicles. The King Chronicles is my favorite. But I think it's okay so far. Though I am also rereading the first two Percy Jackson books. That's The Lightning Thief and the Sea of Monsters, in preparation for season 2, which is coming out next week. Wow. Um, so we have Apollo, the god of the sun, and like seven other things. Like, he's the god of medicine, prophecy, oracles, young boys, I think, um, archery as well. And his twin sister Artemis, the goddess of the moon, goddess of the hunts, goddess of childbirth, women, and the and wildlife. Yeah. So Apollo rode a sun chariot across the sky. So I guess that represents the sun passing across the sky, and Artemis, I think, also rode the chariot. She had this band of women who had to pledge to stay away from men, and they'll get immortality. I'm sure you know the Hunters if you're a Percy Jackson fan. So Apollo and Artemis were born on the island of Delos after Zeus had an affair with Leto. The ninth Olympian god is Hephaestus, another child of Zeus and Hera, but sometimes it's mentioned as just a child of Hera. Um, he was deemed ugly after birth. This depends on the account you read, though. But yeah, basically, he was deemed ugly after being born, and Hera tossed him off Olympus. Yeah, you heard me right. She threw a baby off a mountain. Depending on the account, still. Um, there's Aphrodite, the goddess of love, born from a chopped body part. I will not mention the body parts of the sky god Uranus after he fell into the sea and got surrounded by sea foam. So she was married to Hephaestus, but she had an affair with Ares. And Hephaestus divorced after Hephaestus embarrassed her and Ares while they were doing the deed. Doing the deed. Well, okay. Then who else? Hermes as the messenger of the gods, the god of travel, merchants, medicine, and he is a psychopomp. That means he leads souls into the underworld. Then there is Dionysus, god of wine and madness, and son of Zeus and Semele. He was born from Zeus's thigh. It's a really weird story. So yeah, these guys rule over humans, I guess. There are also several minor gods, like Hebe, a child of Zeus and Hera, and goddess of youth and cup holder of the gods. There is who else? Hebe, Iothea, goddess of childbirth and daughter of Zeus and Hera, another child of Zeus and Hera. Um, there's Eros, son of Aphrodite and Ares, and god of love. One of the Erods, winged love beings, children of Ares and Aphrodite. There is Thanatos, god of death, and Hades is lieutenant. Oh, and I forgot about Hades. Yeah, he isn't an Olympian, though he is a major god. He's not an Olympian because he doesn't reside on Olympus. He lives on in the underworld. Yeah, he's the god of the underworld, basically ruler of all the souls there. Um, Let me just explain the underworld really quickly. So it's where souls go, basically. It's divided into three parts. There's Asphodel, there's Elysium, where the souls of good people are rewarded, and there is um, Tartarus, yes, where punishment happens, basically. Several people have been punished there. There are four rivers there. There's the Styx, through which people swear oaths, and that is where the ferryman Charon and the main psychopomp in the underworld carries souls. There is the Acheron, the Cocytus, the Lethe, the Phlegethon, which is the fire river from the Mark of Athena, where Percy and Annabeth fall into Tartarus. There is, yeah, I think that's for the underworld. There's also the story of Orpheus, who tried to get his wife from there, but it didn't go well because he looked back. He was a child of Apollo. So yeah, other minor gods. There's Hypnos, child of Nyx, and a god of sleep. There's Nike, goddess of victory, daughter of Styx, who is the goddess of the river that I just mentioned. There is who else is there? A ton of others, I guess. There is Nemesis, goddess of revenge and justice and divine retribution. There is Tai Chi, goddess of good fortune and good luck, basically goddess of luck. Yeah, so I think that's enough for the gods. Now on to the best part of Greek mythology, which is the part about heroes. This is near the end. So there are a number of major heroes in Greek mythology, but it all leads up to Hercules. Then there are heroes that existed before Hercules. There was Cadmus, founder of Thebes. There was Bellerophon, who rode the Pegasus, and Perseus, my personal favorite. I think I'll talk a bit about him. He's from the land of Argos, and when he was born, his grandfather, was it Acrisius, feared that he would be too strong and take over. So he put Perseus and his mother Danae in a box and let the box float away. He's actually a son of Zeus. Zeus took the form of gold rain and he did it with Perseus's mother. That's how he was born. So weird. So he found himself on the island of Sisyphus. He killed Medusa for a certain reason. Married to Princess Andromeda. I'm not going too into detail. Sorry, this video is already way too long and boring. You've probably stopped watching by now, but if you're still watching, then wow, thank you. What else? Yeah, then there's Hercules, son of Zeus and Alcmene, right? Yeah, he is the last demigod to be born of Zeus anyway. After Zeus's affair with Alcmene, Zeus didn't have any more affairs with mortals. Um, so Hera hates it when Zeus has an affair. So, but she can't take it out on Zeus. So she takes it out on either the person Zeus has an affair with or the offspring. So she has done this a number of times, but did it the most with Hercules. She drove him mad and made him kill his first family. So he has to go through this series of trials for redemption before eventually becoming a god on Olympus. So yeah, there's the there are two epic poems by Homer, the Iliad, which talks about the Trojan War, and the Odyssey, which talks about Odysseus's journey home. Now, I haven't read these. I know they'll be really boring, but I will read them eventually. I haven't read them yet. I intend to. Maybe I'll make videos on those in the future, but I won't be going too into detail about them. Those are the only like really structured parts of Greek mythology. The Trojan War is about a war between Troy and Greece. Some gods support Troy, some gods support Greece. I think it's about Helen of Troy being kidnapped or something like that. Then there's Achilles, Odysseus. Odysseus is like this mastermind behind everything, and he's favored by Athena. And then the Odyssey is about Odysseus returning home from the war, and Christopher Nolan is making a movie about it next year, and Zendaya is playing Athena. That's such a casting. Um, yeah, this video has been too long. I should stop talking now. So good, the video ends here. Bye. Okay, that was the worst ending ever. I shouldn't end the first video like that. So yeah, if you made it to the end, thank you so much. Because I wouldn't have made it to the end. I probably would have stopped watching once I heard the first word come out of my mouth. Um, this is my first time doing this. And my voice lacks magnitude, so just know I will try and get better. I will make other videos. I'm not sure if anybody would be interested. Anyway, bye. Peace out.